Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Episode 2 of the Wide 80 podcast. As always, I got two really cool guys with me. To the left of me, we all know him as Colby, but you might have seen him on the fairway. Short stuff golf himself is in the building. It's that guy.
What's up?
And to a place underneath me, I have the
Howard.
2023 fantasy baseball champion, the fantasy guru himself,
Easy now.
Chandler.
What's up, y'all?
We are here, guys. First episode was fun. We're getting the swing of things. Boys got new mics. How we feeling about the new mics?
Yeah, pretty good so far.
I feel great.
It's we
Sounds
really
awesome.
We really going in hard right now, and we're having fun, man. It was really good to see the product of kind of an idea that we've had for a little bit now. And you talk about things, you keep talking about it, but to actually do it is something different. And I just want to start off this podcast by saying I appreciate both of you and the effort that y'all have put in, because in the beginning it's rough because barely anybody watches you, barely anybody listens, but that's how these things start. And we're here.
Yeah, we do it because
So-
we love to do it. So
That's all it is, man. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make, and hopefully no one watched the video of my UFC parlay because that was dog shit
Easy.
and that was rough. But there were some eye pokes. There was some questionable decision making, but it'll be better. I got one coming for you. I have a couple of different parlays. One kind of crazy and one kind of I guess you could say conservative. But we'll get to that.
I just want to say likewise, man. Likewise.
yeah, I was gonna say that too. I was waiting for you to
putting
finish.
Yeah.
We
bad.
appreciate you too, man. For sure.
Oh, dude,
It's just time to perfect it now, you know?
Yeah.
That's all
Get
it
it
is.
get it good instead of us just having fun. But we'll keep having
Get
fun
it
throughout the whole
good.
thing.
Yeah, my lineup didn't do well either, so we're in the same boat.
But
This
yours,
time.
yours was close the whole day.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
so I don't know if you guys do DraftKings, but there's a gray area and then the dark area is where you make money, and it shows how close you are to that area. Here's the dark area.
It's a
Colby was
tease.
right here all day, and
that was for a tournament too. So that was if you'd have done a double up, we'd have been in the money. So
yeah, I definitely put 5 on it, and I was wondering why I wasn't rich yet, but
me
here we
too.
are. So same kind of regarding the same formula as before. We are let's jump into football, and right now all the jazz is free agent wide receivers, trade targets, and where will they land. I feel like we did our predictions for the Super Bowl, so we're just waiting for those to be right. But let's kind of get more analytical with it, and let's start thinking about these guys that could potentially have new homes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up some potential trade targets or some upcoming unrestricted free agent receivers, and I want you guys to let me know, where do you think they are going to land? Your best guess. So the guy that's really been in the media lately, Stephon Diggs. This could be his last year in Buffalo. I think a lot of people would agree that it's time to kind of do something different in that regard. As a trade target, Chandler, I'm going to start with you. Where do you think Stephon Diggs is going to end up? Or if you think he's going to stay in Buffalo, what do you think?
Yeah, I just that's the media hype. You always catch them on the sidelines being upset, but you don't ever get to see the highlights of those moments. I don't know if he'd really leave Josh Allen. I don't know if he'd really leave what they got going on in Buffalo because they're always just close, but no cigar, so to speak. As a Texans fan, I think we'll all agree that we'd wish he'd go there. We got the cap space to spend, and then Diggs, Collins, and Dell would just be a nasty receiving core. But ultimately, I think he stays put unless somebody just offers him buku's amount of money to walk away.
Yeah, it could be one of those situations where it's maybe a trade and a new deal.
Yeah, it'd have to be. It'd have to be.
Right.
And a hefty, or I guess not hefty, but lengthy. Right. I wouldn't expect anything less than like 6 years if something's being offered to him.
So
For sure.
your overall idea is you you're kind of leaning towards he stays in Buffalo.
I think so. Yeah, I don't know what the dollar amount would be on it, and plenty of teams have cap space. But yeah, I think everything negative that we see in the media with him and Josh Allen is all the negative. You know,
It's
I don't think there's
overblown.
anything. Yeah, I don't think there's anything behind the scenes that we're not privy to. I think that's it. I think that's the extent of it. And yeah, they'll get a chance next year, and maybe AFC champs. Who knows?
Perfect. Colby, we got.
So I was kind of with Chandler on this, but I do have another tidbit about it. I think more or less he will resign, but with the movement of one in particular wide receiver, I think this team might go and try and grab somebody else, and that's Tampa Bay. I think that Tampa Bay has a winning team, and uh, Stephon Diggs is all about that. I know that he's with Buffalo, and they're a winning team just to begin with, but maybe he has that itch to try something different, and it may be of benefit to him to try something new. And I think that him and Baker Mayfield actually might get along together, and I think they might mesh well. So that's
Super
my reason.
competitive
Yeah,
individuals.
they're
Definitely,
both very competitive. So
definitely a change in scenery going from cold Buffalo to sunny Florida.
and that might
Right.
be the reason. Who knows?
And Colby, are you saying they'd have to lose Mike Evans?
Or do you think they re-sign Mike Evans and make the trade?
Oh
Not trying
man,
to foreshadow anything here, man. I'm just
Not trying to
asking,
force
you
anything
know,
on you.
that would be
because we
insane.
will talk about Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not to go on a soapbox here. I have a strong belief that Stephon Diggs will be playing for the Houston Texans next year. I think, for one,
Shot hype is real.
the Houston Texans should be the number one free agent destination in the sport. Plain and simple. I think it's a near perfect marriage. D'Amico Ryans being a player's coach, right? A former Pro Bowler himself. CJ Stroud is probably the most hyped, popular quarterback in the league right now. So many people are hopping on that train, and rightfully so. Played amazing. You got Nico Collins.
Welcome to all those people hopping on the train, by the way.
How we
Welcome.
doing?
Yeah.
You got Nico Collins surging as a star wide receiver. Big body, quick, can make guys miss, can take it upfield. You have Tank Dell, who had a crazy rookie season, but he did break his leg. No, there's no way around that. So if you're assuming Tank Dell comes back near to the same state that he was when he got hurt, you're looking at shifty slot receiver, a deep threat, big body guy in Nico Collins, and then you got Stephon Diggs for the intermediate routes. I think it's a perfect marriage. But if Tank Dell does, lose some quickness, lose some shiftiness, because he did break his leg, even more the merrier to sign Stephon Diggs or to trade for Stephon Diggs. Texans have a late first round pick. Are you going to get a better draft pick than Stephon Diggs with that 23rd pick? Use it as a trade piece.
Well, we kind of chatted about this the other day off air as far as Diggs. If he's not number one route runner in the NFL, he's number two.
Yeah, he's
second to Adams.
Those intermediate 8-yard routes, he's just flawless with it, and CJ can put it where it needs to go. And I think.
Can we turn this into a CJ Stroud podcast?
Right? No, my last point. I think the Texans are more in the market for a Mike Evans or a Stephon Diggs, a veteran, someone who's been around. I don't think they're going to mess with the T. Higgins, the more younger end guy. I think they're looking for veteran wide receivers, and I think they will be involved with Mike Evans, but I think the Stephon Diggs move is more of a plausible outcome, I think. Let's keep it moving.
It almost fits too perfectly.
It's just a perfect marriage.
Yeah, it almost fits too perfectly.
And it makes the most sense in the world. So I want to go to my next guy. I want to go T. Higgins. T. Higgins, Colby, let's start with you. Where do you think T. Higgins ends up?
I think T. Higgins resigns.
Ooh,
I think that since he got his start in Cincinnati, I think he's developed a bond with Joe Burrow, and I think that Cincinnati can afford him. So that's pretty much simply my reasons right there.
Yeah, and if you're gonna invest in a team, Cincy's not a bad invest at all.
Nope. I think they'll be good for a while. So
exactly. So good point.
How cool is it that we get to witness those top three and welcome Texans to the top 4 of the AFC over there, right? That's just fun to watch, making football great again.
What you got, Chandler?
But
T. Higgins.
So my first thought was, why wouldn't Cincinnati just franchise tag him, right? And again, we kind of talked off air, but honestly, I think he goes to the Patriots. I think the Patriots not only lost their coach, they lost their identity with that coach. So it is no more smash mouth. We're just going to do these little seam routes and see what it gets us. It's no more defensive minded. We'll see what the new head coach brings, right? But who better, and why not from T. Higgins in this aspect as well? Who better to, from a free agent standpoint, to put and build a receiving core around, right? A guy that's consistently 1,000-yard receiver. Even if he misses games, you can average that out. He'd have been a 1,000-yard receiver last year, and so I just think he might become not necessarily the face of their new team, but a key part of the identity of the Patriots moving forward. And they for sure have the money.
So I think we can all assume the Patriots are going to draft a quarterback with their first round pick.
They're going to have to.
So you're having T. Higgins just waiting on him. I like it.
Why not?
That's such a good pick.
What draft pick do the Patriots have?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. I know they're top 5.
Yeah, you're gonna make us Google.
NFL draft order.
Sorry, guys. That's something I should have had on hand.
That's cool. It's cool. No, I didn't think he was gonna come with.
Technically, I should have had.
I didn't think he was gonna come with the Patriots pick.
Yeah, I didn't either. Well, I mean, that could be another podcast, like who the Patriots pick, because that's actually a topic of conversation, right?
Well, you got to cover the draft when we get there, yeah.
Yeah,
all the way around.
So who would they have? Who would they have a choice of?
Dude, they have to figure out the quarterback situation.
I 1,000% was not ready for the Patriots pick 3rd.
Oh, okay, yeah, they'll definitely pick a quarterback.
Yeah, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. is just sitting there,
pretty.
So, I'll add in my 2 cents. The T. Higgins just seems like a Carolina Panther sighting. It just seems like the Carolina Panthers, right? So the narrative in sports is you get a rookie quarterback, then you got to give him a weapon, right? Even though Adam Thielen, way on the back 9 of his career, or at least he should be, had a good year last year, very good. But I think Carolina is going to want to make a big splash. They're going to be tied to every single free agent wide receiver. But T. Higgins, with the uncertainty and the idea that if you have a great receiver behind an even better receiver, if you isolate him on another team, he's going to blow up. That is the narrative that we all follow. That's the game plan we all follow. I don't know if I believe T. Higgins is a true just number 1 guy. I think he's very good. I don't know if he's, a top 10 guy, but I think the Carolina Panthers, they whiffed on the CJ Stroud pick. I think they can. I think they make this overdramatic signing of T. Higgins, give him a lot of money, and I think it's going to be a proving year for T. Higgins. I'm not trying to say anything bad about him. I just don't see the craziness there. But we'll see once they make this signing. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be a dramatic signing, a lot of money. They're going to pay him really big money. He's also been kind of banged up the past few years. So it just seems like a Carolina Panther signing. I just feel it in my bones. Okay.
Banged up equals Carolina.
Yeah, we talk about perfect marriage. It's just the perfect marriage.
I think Adam Thielen is one of the best veteran receivers to have in your locker room.
Gosh.
I mean, I can't imagine anybody being upset getting a team with him.
Let's move down this list here. Mike Evans. Chandler, what you got?
Oh man. All right. So this was my other spicy one.
Uh-oh.
I really think, and so Washington is in a similar situation as the Patriots. And I think Washington could splurge on a guy like Mike Evans, where they have quarterback uncertainty, but Evans has proven to put up 1,000 yards with 5 different quarterbacks in the last 5 seasons. Somebody's going to catch me on the misquote if it is one, but it's pretty unreal. And so I'm thinking they splurge for the guy that can seemingly put up 1,000 yards no matter who's throwing the ball to him. And they figure out the quarterback situation, maybe in the draft, maybe down the road, who knows. And then it's funny you brought up Marvin Harrison Jr. earlier. I think if they don't do this, they're grabbing him at 2. And so they're going to get their big body receiver regardless.
And Scary Terry's still there. Scary
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin's still
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah. No, there won't be any ISO on that team, right? They even have 2 running backs that I'd argue are decent. And so there's just a missing piece, maybe 2 missing pieces to Washington's offense. And they're going to be pretty decent. But I think Mike could really contribute to that.
I like it. I like it. Colby, tell me about Mike Evans. Where's he going?
I think y'all were talking about like a match made in heaven and stuff like that, and I really think that Mike Evans would be a match made in heaven for the Texans.
Yep. He's
The
from
dude
there.
is from Galveston,
Yep.
right?
Yep, from
And
Galveston.
he went to A&M, was a beast there, and I think that Mike Evans, just like anybody in the league, will want to play for the Texans, the hottest up and coming team. And
Agreed.
what better way to play the last 2, 3, whatever years on a team like that? And Texans can afford him, believe it or not. So, yeah, that's my reasons for Mike Evans going to the Texans.
How many years do you think he has left? Like 3 to 5?
3,
3?
I think. Yeah.
So they can give him 3 for 99 and be okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe.
I don't see him having a rapid decline by any means. He's been Mr. Consistency since he's joined the league.
Yeah.
I think Mike Evans stays in Tampa Bay. Look, he's in a good situation, right? We talked about kind of the same reasons that Colby mentioned T. Higgins staying in Cincinnati, right? They won a playoff game. They went to the next round, and Baker Mayfield is getting better. Like he's still getting better, and you know that he's going to give you the ball. He's going to give you the ball. I don't know what he's looking for, unless he's really trying to go to like a Kansas City to get an elite arm. I don't. And again, this is all just gut feeling, kind of what we've imagine. I don't think Mike Evans, to me, he just doesn't seem like a guy that's going to ring chase at this point. I think him staying in Tampa Bay is a good situation. You have a quarterback that's getting better. You have a team that had playoff success. I don't know what's out there that's better than that.
Hear me out.
And the only way that Mike Evans leaves is if Tampa Bay doesn't want to pay him what he thinks he's worth. And we see that all the time. We saw that with Tyreek Hill in Kansas City and him getting traded to Miami. It happens all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens, but I think if I were to guess Mike Evans, situation, I think he would want to stay. Playoff success. You're in Florida by the beach. Watch Tampa Bay not be by the beach or something, but like I don't even know where that is. I know it's in Florida, but you're in a good situation. I don't know what's necessarily better than that. Again, unless he's trying to get with like a real elite arm, but I think he stays put. But I do think Texans are calling that agent for sure.
Mike Evans to Buffalo, Stephon Diggs to Texans.
There you go.
Josh Allen could use a big body.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like this,
but
Josh
Nico's
Allen and Mike Evans kind of have the
right?
same body. Like they have like the same
Right?
body type. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Michael Pittman Jr., Indianapolis Colts. Colby, where's he going?
Resign.
Okay, simple as that. Sweet.
Yeah,
simple.
I think that's a Colts move. I just for some reason I just got my dowel rods right here, and it's just like they're gonna resign.
It's hard to imagine him somewhere else.
Yeah.
Chandler,
is Gardner Minshew going to be the guy still next year?
It's going to be
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, that's right. I apologize.
Especially after, I mean,
it could be Gardner.
Minshew played to a point where, hey, maybe Richardson could sit a little bit, but Minshew had a bad last game that I think you could then say, all right, it's time to hand it to Anthony Richardson. Mm-hmm. Chandler, what do you think about Michael Pittman?
Yeah, it is hard to see him somewhere else. And he's just been sneaky good and really under the radar. And so I think it's going to be him wanting to leave more so than anybody approaching him for whatever reason. But yeah, I think that's the easiest and obvious answer is just, and I think they tag him. To be honest, I don't think anybody gets paid, right? If you have the opportunity to just keep going year by year,
You
nobody
get a
wants to.
franchise tag.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
get a franchise tag.
nobody just, and that's what we're seeing more so nowadays. And not to take it to baseball, but like avoid arbitration 1 year. That's it. No commitment in sports, man. Don't no love lost. Don't get attached.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I'm in agreement. I think we're unanimous here. Pittman stays with the Colts. Hard to imagine him anywhere else. But again, kind of to my point of Mike Evans, you got a good thing going in Indianapolis. They were one game away from the playoffs with a quarterback change, and that's nothing against Gardner Minshew. Um, if you're going to invest in a guy, Anthony Richardson, when he was playing, obviously health will be a major concern, and we have to stay tuned on that. But you have your quarterback. He looks dynamic. He looks like a guy that can win a lot of games that maybe, are not winnable due to his athleticism. Why would you not want to stick around and invest in that? He's going to throw you the ball. So sticking in Indianapolis. But to what Chandler said, if he wants to leave, it could be something else, but I definitely have a re-signing Michael Pittman Jr. re-signing with the Colts. Last one. I like this one. I like this one a lot.
You started then.
Calvin Ridley. What do you got, Chandler?
I was gonna say you started because I got low hopes for this one.
Okay, so I'll go first,
Yeah, if
and
you
then I'll
like it,
pass it
man.
off.
If you like it, start us
I
off.
like this pick, and I like who I have him going to. Right, the Arizona Cardinals will sign Calvin Ridley. The Arizona Cardinals are a sneaky team to get any of these top free agent receivers. I truly believe that. I am still a believer in Kyler Murray. I think he can still be, I don't think he's going to be the best quarterback in the league, but I think he's going to be easily top
MVP?
10. Easily top 10, right? The coach there is phenomenal. They have one of the best youngest tight ends, Trey McBride, who was a beast in fantasy towards the end of the season. He was their number one receiver. The Hollywood Brown experiment did not work. Hollywood Brown's going somewhere else. They need a receiver. I like the Calvin Ridley, Kyler Murray, even with Jacksonville's offense. I had a bunch of Jacksonville players on my fantasy, so I watched every single Jacksonville game. Their offense was all over the place, and Calvin Ridley still got over 1,000 and still got 8 touchdowns. He's going to Arizona. Kyler Murray's going to throw in the ball often. That's what I got. I got the Arizona Cardinals. Colby, what you got?
So I have the same feeling about Calvin Ridley that you have about T. Higgins. I think that Calvin Ridley is going to go to the Panthers. And
Ooh, that's nice too. I
the
like that
reason
one.
the reason I'm saying that is you had said that it would be nice to have T. Higgins waiting for what's that guy's name? I'm sorry. Who's the quarterback, guys?
Joe Burrow?
No,
Oh,
for the Carolina.
Bryce Young.
Yeah,
Bryce,
there you
I'm
Bryce,
go.
sorry,
yeah.
I had a brain
Yeah,
fart.
yeah.
Sorry. I think that they want more of a veteran presence for Bryce. I think that would be more beneficial to him instead of having a young guy. Kind of, I just feel I got a feeling that Calvin Ridley will be absolutely better for a young Bryce Young, and he's a beast, like you said, over 1,000 yards, eight touchdowns, and
I couldn't find any stats on this, but I was watching games where ESPN said that Calvin Ridley was near the top or led the league in drawing defensive pass interferences and drawing holding calls.
right.
I couldn't find any stats to support that, so I take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's
Well,
still doing work, and that Jacksonville offense. You never knew who was going to be the guy each game. It could be Evan Ingram, it could be Christian Kirk. You just never knew who was going to be the
Yeah, it was
guy.
rough.
There were some
But
games where Ridley he'd have 10 targets one game, 2 the next. So it was really all over the place. I think if he gets in an offense where he's the true number one guy, gets
right.
8+ targets a game, and to your point, I think Carolina could be that spot. That's a great pick. What you got, Chandler? Let's hear your negativity.
No. Well, y'all made me think, because I was like, Jacksonville's just gonna franchise tag him, right? And give him another year under his belt. I'm also a little weary that anybody else gives him a chance just because of his commitment issues, so to speak. And teams commitment issues as well. You know, can't reiterate that enough, as everybody wants to franchise tag everything. But really, I think he sticks in Jacksonville. I think you might have the wrong bird. I think if he goes to a bird, he goes to the Ravens to flake Zay Flowers, and that would just be nasty. I actually think they might get him on a discount because they're such a playoff team and ready to go. But I like him at Carolina as well. I just don't know if he's capable of the workload. And I know he had it at Jacksonville, but I think that's part of the reason why you couldn't predict who's got what game. And I think they're going to, if they keep him at Jacksonville, they're going to hone in on that this offseason and either focus their offense around Etienne Jr. or get Calvin Ridley more involved on a consistent basis.
I think Calvin Ridley's betting on himself next year. Yeah, y'all get it? Anyway.
Yeah, that means he ain't playing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's okay, so we went through that. That was good. I like to see my favorite picks, the Patriot pick. That was something else. And Calvin Ridley going to Carolina. I mean, we got the same idea, just different guys. Cool.
Yeah. And Ridley could fit that Patriots thing as well, but I do think it's a T. Higgins. He can carry that load.
Yeah, no, that was good. So we'll see who's right and who's wrong, who was close and who was way off. But I want to go into this next segment. All right, this is something that me and my friends do when we're bored. I want to put it on wax. I want to put it on camera. We're going to have ourselves a good old-fashioned draft to sort of we can scratch the itch until fantasy baseball starts. So we're going to do a draft, but we're not drafting players. We are going to draft. Everyone's going to have a team of 5. We are going to draft the best sports jerseys of all time. That's what we're doing. Okay? And check this out. I'm going to show you guys something. So, as we get this ready, did you guys have trouble putting this together?
The draft, the jersey draft,
the jerseys.
It required a little bit of looking into.
Yeah, kind of, because there's just so many. Really, if you really dig into it, you're like, oh, that's nice, and finding the years too. I mean, I know you kind of would have just said, oh, well, just think of this guy, and that's what I'm going with. Yeah. But like, I actually wanted to look at the years and stuff and when that was. So I have my years and I have my players that were playing in those jerseys.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so this is how we're going to predict the order. We're going to spin. Okay.
Like my Price is Right.
Here we go. The first pick will go to Chan Man. And this is Serpentine. This is Serpentine.
All right.
And then the next pick.
What do I win?
You win the first pick.
A new car.
Like I'm going dead last. So it'll be Chandler, Colby, and myself. And that's how we'll do it. Then we'll Serpentine. So when it gets to me, I'll go again, and then we'll go back around. So Chandler, the first pick.
Yeah, with my first
pick in the jersey draft.
With my first pick in this all sports, all time jersey draft is the Mighty Ducks. And that is the classic Jason mask with the 2 hockey sticks behind it, white. The movie we all know and love, Mighty Ducks. Give me all of them too, in every color.
Nice.
In every color.
When I think of hockey, I think of that mask.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
when I think of winning,
y'all remember the cartoon?
The Mighty Ducks cartoon. Yeah.
Mighty Ducks cartoon he'd put on. He's
where they were actually ducks.
Yeah.
The next
That's
pick.
old school.
Yeah.
Colby.
Show your age.
All right. So this has actually been my favorite forever. And it's a basketball jersey. It's the 88 to 98 Orlando Magic's black with the pinstriping and the
Penny
blue.
Hardaways?
The Penny Hardaways.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Shaq wore it and Tracy wore it too.
That's crazy. That's an elite first pick. I will end off the first round by selecting the Toronto Raptors with the Raptor on it, the Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. I got the Tracy McGrady in the closet as we speak. The Dino, what'd you call it? What is it called? The Dino?
Yeah, the Dino. It's a Dino away, technically.
Dino. Yeah. That jersey with the purple with the actual Dino on it.
That might be the home, the purple one. Yeah.
That one's crazy. All right. Still on me. Okay, so I'm going to throw in a curveball here, okay?
Second pick.
My second pick, my team's going to be elite. My second pick, I'm going to draft from the movie Semi-Pro, the Flint Tropics, baby. The Flint Tropics
That's
jersey.
fantastic.
Jackie Moon.
Yeah.
That's elite. I have the Jackie Moon jersey in my closet as well. So Flint Tropics, baby.
That's
All right,
awesome.
Colby, it's on you.
Hell yeah. So with my second pick, it's a football jersey. And there was a jersey in 03 to I guess 06. It was an alternate jersey. And
Ooh.
it's the Miami Dolphins. It's the greenest jersey that they've ever had. It's got the green, the white, and then it's got the orange on the back right here, or on the sleeve right here. Think of Zach Thomas that year. Yeah.
Classic. Chandler, what you got?
All right. Well, my number 2, and this is no bias in this whatsoever, but it's definitely Texans Battle Red.
The red on
Hey,
red?
I want red on red on red. Yeah, all of it.
they just started doing. No, they didn't. They didn't just start doing that.
They
I
did
was
that when
thinking,
Matt Schaub was quarterback.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Which one was
specifically
he?
remember Owen Daniels red on red dancing in the end
Yeah,
zone.
you're right. I'm just brain fart. My ball.
Okay,
Red
Chandler,
on
you go
red on
twice.
red
What's
on
your
red.
next pick?
And then my Raptors Dino got taken. That was my number 3. But we're gonna hit it with. It's kind of a throwback, not really, because the colors are switched. But the Atlanta Falcons jerseys, white pants, black top, red helmet. Normally it's
Yeah.
red top,
Hey,
but get the adverse. Give me that red helmet, looking mean and clean.
Bill
Looking
Goldberg.
mean and clean. Bill Goldberg played for the
He was
Falcons.
defensive end. That was when they had those jerseys.
Colby, what you got? Third
Well, they
pick.
even brought him back during the Matty Ice era.
I
Yeah.
remember that. Julio.
So I'm going with it's a Falcon jersey as well.
Uh-oh.
It's the 03 to 04 all black
All blacks.
Mhm.
with it was the one Michael Vick. Think of Michael Vick.
Yep.
03. I like it. I like it a lot. With my third pick, I am going to go baseball, the first baseball one taken. I'm going to take the early 2000s Arizona Diamondbacks. Think of Randy Johnson with the purple and the, I guess you would say, a maroon red. Crazy. My wife, fun fact, my wife hates that scheme so much. I've been trying to buy the hat and she literally stops me from buying it. She's like, that's so
funny.
ugly, but it's my favorite thing. Anything with purple in it, it's my favorite color. So I'm going early 2000s Randy Johnson Diamondback jersey. So, and I'm taking it. I'm taking it again. My fourth pick, I'm gonna go football. I'm taking the 70 to 90s creamsicle Tampa Bay Buccaneers with the pirate on the helmet.
Ready to hike?
Crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm destroying y'all. I'm gonna
Can
be
you
honest.
believe I was looking around? There were that one was on an ugly list, and I'm like, are you serious? That thing is
I mean,
clean.
it's all perception, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Anyways,
creamsicle Tampa Bay, I love it. All right, Colby, it's on you. Fourth pick.
so this team ain't around anymore.
Oh, here we go.
It's the Houston Oilers, the Love You
Oof.
Blue.
Oof.
I put all years,
Not the
but
Tennessee Titans.
yeah, not the Tennessee Titans. I put all years, but in 71 to 72, they actually had gray pants with
And
the
you're with
blue.
that?
So
And
they
you're with
actually
that?
look
Okay.
like Detroit Lions kind of.
Yeah.
But no, I'm talking about the all blue all the way around.
Oh my God.
I think
Y'all
of Earl
might,
Campbell.
you said Lions, and I don't think any of y'all have this, and it's not on my list either. I'm not gonna pick it. When the Lions went black on black with the blue,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
that was
That
a
was
crazy
clean.
scheme.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's clean.
all right, Chandler, on you.
Why are you taking my number 4?
I
No,
feel
I'm
like
just joking.
nobody would have picked that. Yeah.
No, I'm a biased guy. We go back to it. Astro Space City. I know I'm gonna get a lot of heat for it, but I think they're the
Space
most
City
unique.
Astros.
They're the most unique City Connect uniforms. Outside of well, I guess Washington's is relatively unique as well. But yeah, I'm a Space City guy. Let's go.
Simple.
I guess I gotta follow up with 5 after that, huh?
Yeah, this is your
No.
last pick. This rounds up your team.
All right, so big fan of the Chicago Blackhawks jerseys.
Oof.
We can do all red, all black, but it's really about the cuffing, as it goes down the wrist. Those stripes.
Yep. There
It
you
just
go.
looks like
Blackhawks.
almost military-esque to me, and I like the Indian on front as well. Native American, cut it, clip it.
Bleep it.
Bleep it. Get rid of it.
All right, Colby. What's your fifth to round up your
All right.
squad?
My fifth isn't a team. It's more of a tradition.
He's like, this is an
And
idea that I had.
this is this is what I wanted to go with. So,
Do it.
it's two golfers, and obviously you guys know Tiger Woods. Every time he plays on Sunday, it's Sunday Red Tiger Woods Day.
Yes, sir.
And there's another one, Ricky Fowler. He plays with orange on Sundays, and he's like all orange. And I remember when he first started out, I was like, "That's the coolest dude on the course right there."
Dude,
So he had the flat bill hat, all orange, 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 all the way around.
yo,
think
I
it's
don't remember Tiger Woods and playing anything but a red polo.
Yeah,
Ever. That's the
Sunday
only
red.
Tiger I know in my head. All right.
Yeah.
I like it. I like you throwing a little golf in there. I respect it. And with my last pick, I'm going to take specifically a jersey I own, but I'm going to take Mike Bibby Vancouver Grizzlies. That
Nice.
scheme was crazy. So the year, I think they only had that for like 4 years, but I think Mike Bibby exclusively was on the team for those years. That Vancouver Grizzlies jersey rounds up our team. So here's our teams. Chandler, you went Mighty Ducks, red on red Texans, the Atlanta Falcons, white pants, red top,
Black top, red hat.
black top, red hat. Well, that's why when I said top,
Yeah,
I meant that. That's what I meant. I pointed, you know.
Yeah.
Space City Astros and the Blackhawks. Love the Blackhawks pick
Yep.
there. Colby's team's kind of crazy. Colby got the Orlando Magic, Penny Hardaway, the 03 Dolphins, 03 All Black Falcons, Oilers blue, and the Tiger Woods red polo. And then he mentioned the Ricky Fowler. But the red polo is kind of crazy because that is a uniform.
It's
you know what I'm
iconic.
saying?
Yeah.
That's the most
That's like a
iconic-
cheat code, you
It's
son
his
of a-
uniform. Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Mother-
Kobe won.
That's the most
and then I got
apparel
the
on Sunday.
Dino Raptors, the Flint Tropics, the early 2000s Arizona Diamondbacks, Creamsicle Tampa Bay, and the Vancouver Grizzlies. That's our teams.
Mhm.
We did it. We did it, boys.
Because we're popular enough. Y'all vote in the comments
Yeah.
as to who won.
Who won that one?
Yeah.
I feel like Colby got a cheat code in there with the Tiger Woods red. I'm gonna be honest, but we love him for it.
Tiger's
So
pants.
I wanted to bring this up. This is just a fun little thing. No one's privy to this. I was
You pop quizzing
stumbling.
us?
I'm just stumbling and was scrolling, and I stumbled upon the top 20 MLB gross selling jerseys of last season. I have top 20. I want to see if you guys can guess the top 10. Okay.
10.
So y'all got 3 X's, and then I'm just gonna tell y'all what the list is. Okay.
Then y'all hang
MLB?
us.
MLB baseball last
Alright.
year, top 10. I have 20 here, but we're gonna go 10. So if you guess and it's not in the 10, that's an X. So let's talk about it.
So just so we're clear, it's just team.
No, it's a
No, individual
player.
jersey.
It's a player.
A
Okay.
player's jersey. And as far as the highest selling jerseys, I have the
Okay.
top 20. Let's
Okay.
do top 10. Chandler, give me a guess.
Just
I
one of
mean-
the top 10, right?
Yeah, Otani's
Yep.
easy.
Otani is number 1, so you got number 1. Colby, what you got? Give me a guess.
Man, that was my first pick.
Sorry. Wait, we can help
Uh,
each other though, right?
Yeah, y'all can
Freddie-
help each other. Y'all can talk.
Freddie Freeman.
Oof.
Ooh, let's see. I like the Freddie Freeman pick. Freddie Freeman. Oh my God, he's 11. That's an X.
Mm.
Right outside 10.
Maybe
Dang
Mookie,
it,
but
Bobby.
you asked it, Colby. It might be Mookie, but Ronald Acuna.
Acuna's number 2. Chandler's
Dang
going in order 1 and 2. All right. Y'all don't necessarily have to trade guesses, but if you got one, just let me know.
Yeah, go ahead, Chandler. I'm kind of thinking in the
I
stew
would
right
guess
now.
Mookie.
What do you got?
Mookie.
Mookie Betts is number 5. You're in it. So we got
All right.
1, 2, and 5.
Shit.
Come on, what we got, boys? What we got, boys?
Alex Bregman.
Ooh,
Okay,
it's
so
Altuve
that
there.
is correct. That's number 9.
Ooh,
Colby's in.
ooh.
Colby's in. And let me give you
So
a little hint. Let me
I
give you a
have to
little
ask.
hint.
I have to ask, is Altuve in there too? I'll take a shot for that.
That's I was just about to say, I'll give you a hint. He's not the only Astro. Altuve's
Yeah.
number 6. You
Yeah.
guys are on fire. So you need 3, 4,
Big hitters, big pitchers. Let's go.
7, 8, and 10.
You said that was the only 2 Astros in there?
Well, I was going to say
Oh.
there's another Astro in there, but Chandler just swept it
Yardoni
out. So
Alvarez.
Yeah.
Oh,
was
my
that a
bad, my bad.
guess?
Yeah,
No.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah, sure.
oh,
There's no Alvarez in the
Yeah.
top 10. That's an X. Is he
Wow.
even on here?
2
Period?
X's.
Let me see.
doesn't get enough ABs.
He's not in
Yeah.
the top 20.
I have his,
It's all right.
but that's okay.
All right, come on, give me one more. Let's think in the grand scheme of
Soto.
things.
Juan Soto.
Ooh, that's a good one.
He
There you
goes
go.
Juan Soto. Let's see. Juan Soto's not in the top 10.
I'm out.
Yep, he is.
Dang it.
Man, he's not even in the top 20.
Is
That's
Aaron
hard to
Judge
believe.
up there?
There you go. Aaron Judge is number 3. So you have 1, 2, and 3. You're missing 4, 7, 8, and 10.
I wish I had a list in front
Follow
of
to
me.
you, Chandler.
Not the list.
Yeah, not the list, but like a list of names.
Come
Oh.
on. Think of like the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Think about who's been at the top of the game for a
So
while.
Trout?
Mike Trout is number 10.
Good guess.
Okay, so now you need 8, you need 7, and you need 4 to complete it. Now, I will say, since technically y'all have X's, but we'll keep it fun. Y'all have the 3 X's.
We can always cut after the
Number
third X.
8 is you have a close relationship with number 8, given your fantasy team last year.
Although that's hard to say because my fantasy team was so damn good last year.
There you go.
There's too many of them.
I can give you just a little hint. You know, what you
out,
do
right?
with that is up to you.
Can we play Guess Who? Is he an Atlanta Brave?
He is an Atlanta Brave.
Yeah. Is he? I guess, man, whatever. It's 50-50. Spencer Strider.
Nope, you was
So
the
it's
other
Whoa.
guy.
Matt
Olson is
That's
number
surprising.
8.
Yeah, that's very
Okay,
surprising.
so I'm
So
surprised
then we got
you got 4 and 7.
All
Number
right, so
4 is
Julio
interesting.
Rodriguez?
You said Julio Rodriguez? That is
Yeah.
number 7. So you
right.
just
Good.
have number 4.
Night, Chandler.
I mean, y'all can surprise me. I don't think you're guessing this one.
Well, part of me wants to say Vladdy, but
No, he's on the top
doesn't-
20, but he's not sitting at
quite hit
sitting at
enough with
4.
the audience. Yeah. Hold up.
This gentleman potentially missed some
Can
time.
I ask for hitter pitcher?
He's a hitter. He's a batter.
All right.
This gentleman might have missed some time due to a little,
It's like half the league.
There you go. Barry Bonds. No. It
Shit.
is Fernando Tatis.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't
number
have guessed.
4.
So
Chandler, you killed that.
I wouldn't
The
have guessed
top 10 is Shohei, Ronald Acuna, Aaron Judge, Tatis, Mookie Betts, Jose Altuve, Julio Rodriguez, Matt Olson, Alex Bregman, and Mike Trout.
You know who I would have guessed instead of Tatis is Bobby Witt Jr.
Hey.
No Bobby Witt. So if y'all want to hear the rest of it, number 11 is Freddie Freeman, 12 Austin Riley, 13 Joey Votto. That's a nostalgia.
Votto, yeah. That's
Number
a
14, Siggy Too Easy, Corey Seager. 15, Vladdy. 16, Ellie De La Cruz. 17, Manny Machado. 18, Ozzy Albies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And 19, Francisco Lindor. 20,
Lindor.
Adley Rutschman.
Damn.
Check that out. So
Chandler, you smoked that, dude.
Yeah, no one was privy to that,
20.
but that was just a fun little thing that I wanted to I kind of wanted to get off, and maybe you guys would like to switch it
That
up
was a good
little bit
time.
and go away from the formula.
I never would have guessed Tatis.
Yeah.
Like Soto before Tatis, even though he only had 1 year in San Diego.
So I know we left football with the MLB jerseys. Does anybody have any last thoughts about football before we kind of get away from it altogether?
I'm just excited to see a lot of movement.
Yeah, I mean, this could be the year. This could be the year.
Yeah, it could be a big year.
Yeah, you're talking about some top 10. Like, I would say Stephon Diggs and Mike Evans are both top 10 receivers, right? That's easy to say, right?
Yes, for sure.
So 2 top 10 guys, new homes. That's kind of wild. But we don't know what's going to happen.
Barring any other trades.
Yeah, right.
They're just out of left field.
So, Colby, you want to win us some money on golf and tell us what you got on DraftKings?
Sure, guy. So
my favorites on the last podcast, listening to it, Colby's segment was my favorite segment. I could tell that he was into it. Like, he studied, and he was for sure. I took it. I put 5 on it. You owe me $5.
I got 5 on it. Okay. So
my ringtone now.
these guys, this is a double up. We ain't doing no tournament this time. We're gonna win some money. We ain't gonna win a crap ton, but we're gonna double it. All right.
What
This
we
is a
got?
50-50. We're going to I'm gonna do my most expensive first, and then I'll kind of go down the way. So I got Sahith Thagala. We're gonna run with that guy again. He is in first place right now in the Phoenix. It's the tournament going on right now, the waste management tournament in Phoenix, Arizona.
What a
And
tournament, by the way.
yeah, it's awesome, dude. I
It's a
want to go to it
garbage
one day.
tournament, literally.
Yeah, Sahith Thagala, he's going for 10, right? And the reason I'm doing that is because he's just playing good golf. Brandon saw it firsthand. It's like, man, that guy just popped off out of nowhere.
He
It's like,
was
that's
like
just
the
Sahith.
worst person on the team, and then I went to like get some food, and I came back, and he was at the top. Like, what
Yep.
happened?
Yep. And then my next guy is Luke List, and I'm picking him
That's
because
one of
of
the worst names
yeah,
I've
Luke
ever
List.
heard. Luke
He's
List.
made every cut that he's had. He's had 10 of them. He's made all of them. So you can almost this guy's playing good golf. He usually makes it to Saturday and Sunday. He's tied for third right now. I believe he's at -4, but he's going for 81, so that's a pretty good. He's a little more expensive right now, but I trust him. I don't know if you guys have heard this name, but his name's Joel Damon. He's that guy. If you watch Full Swing, he's the most popular guy on Full Swing. The dude likes to party. He's a gangster. But he kind of slacks off sometimes. But when he's playing good, he
When he's on,
rarely
he's
falls.
on.
When he's on, he's on. And mind you, there has been times where he's played good and then just I don't know where he shits the bed. But Joel Damon is tied for sixth right now. I believe he's at -2, and he's going for 6,600. He's my value pick right now. And so we're going with Joel Damon. Shane Lowry, probably the fieriest guy on tour right now. He's going for 8,700. He's also tied with third. I believe he's at -4. He's one of those guys that if he's shooting hot, he's going to stay hot. And Brian Harmon, the Hermit, Mr. Wagglesworth. This guy is I would almost put him as too expensive because Brian Harmon never plays bad, but he always plays just as good. But there's always times where like there'll be a couple of tournaments throughout the year where he just plays out of his mind. Like I said, he's not somebody who's going to burn everyone down. He's the type of guy who's going to go 3 under. He's the type of guy who is consistent and he'll teeter on that consistency to playing elite. I mean, everybody's elite, but Brian Harmon has that chance to play really well. But I'm picking him here because I don't want anybody to play bad. Brian Harmon's my guy. He's my go-to. He's going for 9 grand. It's a little expensive, but if you don't want to lose out, I go with Brian Harmon. And my last guy, he's going for 7,200, and it's Adam Svensson, and he is playing really good golf. He's just one of those guys, just like Luke List. He's pretty consistent. He's playing really good golf as of late, and I'm kind of picking him for that reason. So I'm gonna go over it again. I got Sahith Thagala at 10,000. I got Luke List at 8,100. I got Joel Damon at 6,600. I got Shane Lowry at 8,700. I got Brian Harmon, too expensive, 9 grand. And then you got Adam Svensson for 7,200. And with that lineup, you have 400 left in your salary cap. So if you're not feeling Joel Damon because you just don't like the name, oh, he just parties too much, whatever, you can swap him out and you can pick a guy like, let's see, you can pick a guy like Sang-Yong Kim. He
My
has made
boy.
5 out of 8 of his cups, 8 of his cuts, and I believe where's he at? He's sitting at -5 right now. I'm shooting under 5. So and he's in second place. So if you want to swap out Joel Damon for Kim, that's probably a better play. But I'm going with Joel because he's my boy.
There you
So
go.
those are my guys.
It's
And
a
Colby,
brisket.
we see the hat. We see the hat with the golf clubs, right?
And
But
and my
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
golf
Show them
carts.
all the show
So
'em all the
I'm
shirt. There's a golf
showing out
cart shirt.
today. And my brisket, put it in the pit, leave it, don't worry about it.
Set it and
It's Sahith
forget it.
Thagala. I ain't worried about that guy. I think he's gonna play good golf. I think he's gonna win this tournament.
Oof.
Ooh,
Oof.
clip it.
Yeah.
Clip it.
Expensive 10K, but he's worth it. So
We're gonna definitely get
run with a kid.
some controversial golfers in the comments talking about he's gonna win the whole thing. That's
Mhm.
crazy. Nah, this my favorite part of the podcast is Colby's golfing picks because I definitely don't know anything about it, but I trust Colby and I put money on it. You say you say you're doing a 50-50, I don't play that game. I'm going straight tourney with it. And
Run it, kid.
dude, I'm running it. So I will place it the moment we get off of this. That's what I did last time. You're my brother, ride or die with you. So your bets are my bets. Your picks are my picks. That's how we do it. We ride together, we die together, bad boys for life. Okay, so so I'm gonna go to my UFC picks. Look, again, this is a free fight night, so I'm not gonna break it down or anything like that. I will say Joe Pyfer is the main event. Everybody knows Joe Pyfer for Dana White screaming "Be like Joe Pyfer." He was on the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series, where if you're unfamiliar, that's when lower end pro fighters, they go and they fight for a contract to be in the UFC. Everybody was boring that night until Joe Pyfer just demolished a dude, and Dana White got on the microphone and said, "Be like Joe Pyfer." Then they bought him a house or some shit, really invested in him. So now he's main eventing against Jack Hermanson. I'm definitely picking him to win. So he's a part of my parlay. I'm going to give you kind of a little conservative parlay. I think my last one was over the plus 2000s. This one is plus 1324. So 50 will win you $661. It's a 5-leg parlay, nothing complicated, simple winners and losers. I'm going Jeremiah Wells over Max Griffin. I'm taking Joe Pyfer over Jack Hermanson. My underdog pick of this whole card, my dog to watch out for, Andre Feely versus Dan Ige, sitting at plus 150. I think Andre Feely wins that fight. He has reach on his side, and he's coming off of a big knockout in his last fight where Dan Ige hasn't looked the most impressive. So I'm taking the underdog Andre Feely there. Hyder Emil over Fernie Garcia, and then Robert Brycek. Robert Brycek over Ihor Poteria. That is my 5. Robert Brycek, Hyder Emil, Andre Feely, Joe Pyfer, Jeremiah Wells. Parlay those 5. 50 gives you 661.
Let's go.
I'm more confident in this one. I clearly didn't know what I was doing last week. Outside of this,
don't say that out loud, man. Don't let everybody else know.
Last week,
Yeah,
I didn't
Brandon.
know what the hell was going on. I predict every single fight on Tapology, and so I have like an all-time record, and I think I was 7 for 12 last card, which isn't. I'm typically in the 8, 9 for 12, or even better. So I was just off. There were some interesting upsets, some big underdogs won last fight, and that typically doesn't happen. So that's my parlay. Gamble responsibly. Okay,
hey,
if anybody
I'm gonna make a noise block right here that we can cut out, but just a thought for the actual cast for the podcast. We need an underdog sound, like whenever somebody makes an underdog prediction, or yeah, something.
So I really want to invest in a soundboard and figure out how that works. I have no idea how that works, but I do want to invest.
Is that what you need for it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure there's a digital one. I'm sure there's but
it's not gonna work well, and it's gonna fucking.
I don't know, but I could definitely hold like my phone up and play some dogs barking.
Or you could just like have a saying, right?
No,
I could just have a saying like how I do. It's a brisket, and I say it really. It's a brisket.
When me and my wife had our podcast, Window Therapy, there's this app called Voicey, which is a digital soundboard, and it takes clips from like funny TV shows or comedians. And Theo Vaughn, the comedian, has a clip where he goes, "She sounds like a liar." And then anytime my wife would say something, I would just put my phone up to the microphone and play it. She sounds like a liar.
That's awesome.
But anyways, if anyone does, I mean, I don't expect anyone to have any takes on the UFC fight. It's just going to be, I just love when fights are happening. We're good to jump into baseball.
The main event.
The main event of the evening. No, jumping into baseball, we got we combining 2 positions. We talked about starting pitchers last episode. We are talking about relievers and catchers. So I think I'll start off relievers if you guys don't mind. So we're doing
what we're
top
trying
5.
to accomplish. I'm sorry, Brandon. What we're trying to accomplish is we obviously have our baseball draft here in a few weeks. and we're trying to cover each and every position prior to our draft, and depending on when other people's drafts are. And so we're gonna have to double up on a couple of them, if not a few of them. So this is one of those double up days. So y'all buckle up for the double up.
Yep, buckle up for the double up. All right, I think you just named our next episode.
Dude, it's all up here. It just stays for free.
That's crazy. So I'll start off my list of relievers. This is my top 5. I think that this is pretty standard, but there are a couple names that I think will end up that maybe you can find in the lower teens, higher teens that I think could end up creeping on the top 5. My number 1 reliever going into this season is Josh Hader, Astros.
Number 1.
I think he's going to lead the league in saves. I really do. Due to the uncertainty of Clace, right? Due to the uncertainty where he's going to land. And though he did lead the league in saves, Clace did, his ERA was higher than it normally is. So They might be looking to move him. I think that leaves an opportunity because he had saves for no reason. I think Josh Hader with Presley moving to a setup role, I love that Astros bullpen. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Josh Hader, I think, will be the number 1 fantasy reliever. Number 2, can I get a drum roll? Can I get a drum roll?
I don't have a good platform.
Soundbite.
David Bednar. Betty Boy.
Of course.
Number 2. Look, he was second in saves last year. 2 even ERA. It's really a fun pick, but I definitely think he'll be in the top 5 no matter what.
Could always be
Will he be 2? I don't know, but Betty Boy David Bednar, that's my guy. He was on my team last year. I'm saving him. I'm keeping him this year.
For everybody listening out there,
really?
we've been hearing Brandon say this for like the last 2 weeks.
Don't sleep, because no one watches Pittsburgh.
Spicy.
They sleep. Okay. My next pick, I think, is going to be even spicier. Okay. Clay Holmes for the Yankees.
I love that.
What?
Look, the Yankees underperformed last year. This year, I think everybody can assume they're going to be better. So they're going to be winning more games. There's going to be more save opportunities. Clay Holmes had a 2.57 ERA with 24 saves last year. I think he's going to have more opportunity. Look, I think it's just going to be more opportunity for him. So Clay Holmes is at my 4. Number 5, I'm going Johan Duran.
Oof.
Minnesota. Look, 2.45 ERA, 27 saves last year. The Twins are going to be a good ball club, but they're not going to be fantastic. There's going to be some close games, save opportunities. I think there's no doubt he's going to be the closer going into this season. He has fantastic stuff. I mean, he throws over 100 on the fastball, has a crazy curveball. He's my 5, and that's my list.
That's a solid list. There's a couple spices in there.
I know. Clay Holmes, I like him.
I like that.
I like him. Chandler, you
I'm
want to go?
I'm not gonna lie. Y'all were cut out for like a solid 10 seconds.
Well, no, we were good. I think you were the problem, and that's fine because I was talking.
Yeah,
right?
I just wanted to. I don't know if that screwed anything up.
No. I think we're good.
It's okay. We can edit.
Yeah, we're good. What you got?
So yeah, I mean, as y'all know, well, as our 7 listeners know by now, I like to do a regular top 5, what everybody else is projecting, and then my own. So we've got Devin Williams, Camilo Duvall, Emmanuel Clace, Edwin Diaz, and then there's actually a tie for 5th with Raisel Iglesias and Josh Hader, and that's just on a points-based league, right? I don't think a few of those actually make the top 5. I've got Devin Williams at my 1. I can agree on that. I think he's got the most opportunities. Milwaukee's in a lot of close games. That's an important thing to remember with this entire top to keep an eye on is you don't want teams, or you don't want a closer on a team that's just going to blow out other teams. He's not going to get many opportunities. It's not going to be very close. I've got Emmanuel Clace as my number 2, strictly from a volume standpoint. I know he had a down year last year, but I think he fixes whatever went wrong over the offseason. And then this one's a little spicy. Tanner Scott with Miami.
Yep.
I think Miami is going to be better this year. Put them even further over that 500 mark, and sure they'll be in some close games, but I think he's going to be as reliable as a reliever as we'll find. Another caveat here is we play holds in our league, and so we're considering saves plus holds with all of this. Camilo Duvall is my number 4. And then somebody that I actually think beats out his brother is Alexis Diaz with Cincinnati over Edwin Diaz in the 5-hole. So I like to keep track of a few outside the top 10. I don't know if Colby, you want to go ahead and do your top 5, and then I'll come back for a little track. And then I've also got my flop and gem of the season.
I hate
So-
this guy.
Totally up to you, man.
What
I
do you
have
think, Colby?
my top 5s are saves and holds. So these guys, who I put up there is I'm looking for the save and looking for the hold here. So I'll run through it quick because I want you to get to what you're saying.
Oh, you're
So
good.
so my top 5 for the saves, I'm going with David Bednar. He's my number 1 reliever this year for the save.
That's my brother. That's my brother.
You paid him. You paid
Two
him.
flat ERA. He had 39 saves last year. I think he's a beast. My second is going to be Camilo Duvall. He had 39 saves with 2.93 ERA. I'm moving Emmanuel Clace down to 3 because he had 44 saves. They used the crap out of him, but those opportunities didn't necessarily, equate to better performances. He lost 9 times last year, so he also had a 3.22 ERA. And then I have Alexis Diaz at 4. Or who did I have? I got Alexis Diaz next, 37 saves, and he had a 3 ERA. And Devin Williams at on the next one, 36 saves with 1.53 ERA. My dark horse is Josh Hader. Not strictly because I know he's a badass already, but I'm not just going to a different team that kind of plays into the dark horses, just like Blake Snell, wherever he lands is kind of up in the air, right? But he had 33 saves and he had a 1.28 ERA. That's insane. He pitches well, awesome. And then I got a top 5 for the holds. My number 1 is Hector Neris. He had 31 holds last year with a 1.71 ERA. He's at Chicago now, so I don't know if that plays any different. Chicago's probably not as good a team as Houston, so we don't know how that's going to play out, but he had some stuff, and he had a 1.71 ERA, so he's a badass.
There'll be more close games for sure.
Yes, and number 2, he used to be a teammate of Hector Neris. I got Brian Abreu. He had 24 holds, 1.75 ERA. And my number 3 is Yenier Cano. He had 31 holds with 2.11 ERA. And then the other one, Tanner Scott. I got Tanner Scott. He had 24 holds, but he had a 2.31 ERA. So nobody was really hitting him, And then you have Chris Martin from the Boston Red Sox. He had 23 holds. He had a 1.05 ERA. He had 55 games played. He had 55 games played, but no one was hitting this guy. So
that's a good one.
He's kind of my dark horse. So
that's awesome.
That's a big pick.
Yep.
That's awesome. I've got a few to track outside the top 10. Just according to regular, head-to-head points-based leagues. David, I know I'm on the David Bednar train as well. I actually think he's 6. We only did a top 5. I think he's my 6. But I've got him as patient 0 for number 10, based on the points-based leagues. Obviously, because Tanner Scott makes that top 5, he's my number 1 to keep an eye on. He's projected outside the top 10. Just don't lose track of that guy. Maybe even draft him. Who knows? Michael King with the Yankees. Exactly what Brandon was saying. Just get holds instead of saves. It's the exact same scenario. If you're in a holds league, don't overlook that guy. And then Pete Fairbanks. He was a little inconsistent last year.
That's my boy.
I don't think Tampa Bay is going to be as good this year. I don't think they're going to be smoking teams 13-1. Call it, I don't know, just a thought, right? No rhyme or reason for it, but they're going to be in some tight games, and this guy is a lockdown closer. If he's healthy and throwing his stuff, it's tough to hit him. My flop for the season, Raisel Iglesias with the Atlanta Braves. No crazy prediction with him. I don't really like what he did last year. He came back from injury, had maybe 3 or 4 losses in a span of 10 games. I don't know if he gets bumped due to performance into the holding or maybe a setup role, or if he just gets removed from the bullpen entirely as far as a high pressure, high stress situation goes. But you've got a lot of weapons there in Atlanta, and I see this guy losing his place. And then Colby hit it, man. I wanted to have it. Brian Abreu is my gem for the entire season. He is primed for a fantastic season. He pitched well enough last year to have a fantastic season. And man, the emotion behind what this guy throws with, it's just not only is it awesome to see, it's got to be intimidating for the opposing force, right? You get off the mound in the 7th with this guy yelling at you. What are you going to do in the 8th? And so I'm really excited to see what he can do. I don't think he's going to have many flubs next year.
Yeah, the Fairbanks pick, he was one of my closers on my fantasy team. A full season. I mean, he's had shoulder injuries, he's had hip injuries the past handful of years, but if a full season with him being the full-time closer from day one, from opening day on that Tampa Bay squad that isn't going to win 40 games in a row like they did to start last season, I love the Fairbanks pick. I didn't want to put him in my top 5 and I didn't make multiple lists, but love the Fairbanks pick. So we're comboing and we're going catchers. Who wants to lead off catchers?
I'll go.
Do it.
So we have top 5 who I think is going to be the most badass catchers, and then I have a watch list. Everybody on the outside of the top 5. So I got obviously Adley Rutschman. Yeah, he had 588 at bats. This dude was playing. So it's not like you're going to have a off day with that guy. He's consistently in the lineup. He's the guy. He had a 2.77 ERA, 23 home runs, 80 RBIs. Pretty damn good. Pretty solid. About as solid as you can get for a catcher. And then you got William Contreras. He had 540 at bats, almost 300. He was batting a 2.91, and he had 17. He's more of a batting average kind of guy, but if that's what you want to go for it. He's the best out there to do it. And then you got old man Salvador Perez at 3. 538 at bats, 255 ERA, 23 home runs, 80 RBIs. That's like just barely off of Adley Rutschman. So he had a badass season. And number 4, I was gonna take him off, but I kind of reconsidered based off of one particular person leaving, and that's Jonah Heim. He had 95 RBIs and he only batted 457 times. That's it. So if you give that guy a full season, you can only imagine what he's going to do, right? He batted 258, 18 home runs. Give him a full season. And then number 5, which I want to put him higher, but it's based off of him being a rookie and he didn't get to play as much. It's more or less just, unknown, but I'm pretty sure he's going to do pretty damn good. It's Yanier Diaz from the Astros, batted 282. Only had 382 at-bats. He managed 23 home runs and 60 RBIs. What the hell, right? Give him a full season, just like Jonah, right? Jeez. And then you got the watch list. I don't really have a whole lot of stats. This is more or less just, hey, if you see him out there and you need a catcher, grab him because odds are he's going to produce for you. You got Will Smith. You got JT Realmuto. Cal Raleigh. He had 30 home runs last year. That's amazing, right? But he's on my watch list because he struck out a lot too. He had 158 Ks and 513 ABs. So he plays. He's in the lineup. So if you need somebody to play, put him in there. And then who do I have? Kybert Ruiz, 523 at bats, and he went 260 in the ERA. So and he played a lot. I think he was probably one of the most played catchers out there. So yeah.
I think it's only right I go next, and I think Chandler should end every single rankings. He should always go last.
That's fair because I talk a lot.
We can give you a runway, So my 5. I have a 5 and 2 honorable mentions. So Adley Rutschman, we don't need to talk about it. Baltimore is going to be great. He's going to be great, and he's so young. He's getting better. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see mid 30 home runs from this dude. He can really turn it on. So number 2, Will Smith. I had Will Smith in my fantasy league. He can do great things. And with that, I think just the aura of that Dodgers team, I think everybody's going to be better. And he missed a lot of time with injury, but when he was on, man, was he on. I think crank some homers. And he's the only, I mean, what are you going to go, Austin Barnes? Like, he's the guy. He's the guy, right? Cal Raleigh is number 3. I'm a big believer. 30 home runs. Again, the exact same concept as the Dodgers. I think Seattle's going to be really, really good this year. I'm probably higher than most, but I think everybody is going to just drink the magic stuff, right? The secret stuff, and I think he's going to crank a lot of homers. If we can stop striking out, to Colby's point, that's going to come with maturity, get better plate discipline, get that average up a little bit. I think he's going to have a ton of RBIs and a ton of homers. Okay, Yanier Diaz is at for holy crap. That guy's home run to at bat ratio is insane. Now, with Maldonado being gone, he's no longer sharing time at catcher. I definitely think if he's going to be the full-time guy, I don't really know a reason why he shouldn't be. I think he's definitely going to load up the stat sheet, get a lot of hits, a lot of extra base hits, a lot of RBIs for a really good Astros team. Number 5, Jonah Heim. Colby mentioned it. No more Mitch Garver. As someone who watches a lot of Rangers games, I saw that Jonah would take maybe a couple extra days off that maybe wasn't warranted because Mitch Garver needed to play catcher, play DH, and rightfully so. Mitch Garver was a beast and was smacking him towards the end of the year. Jonah Heim also missed time with the injury. If he's healthy, he is by far the number 1 catcher. There should be no competition with him whatsoever for ABs. And he's young too. I think he's only getting better. That Rangers team from an offensive standpoint is going to be really good for a long time. So that's my 5, right? So I got Rutschman, Will Smith, Cal Rayleigh, Yanier Diaz, Jonah Heim. And then my 2 honorable mentions, Logan O'Hop for the Angels. I don't anticipate the Angels being good next year. They're going to want to give their prospects some burn, right? Give them some at-bats, let them develop. I think, again, kind of like Yanier Diaz, he has a good home run to at-bat ratio. Dude smacks him. He needs to get the at-bats. He needs to develop. I think he's going to play a lot next year if he can stay healthy. Could be a bright spot in potentially a tough year for the Angels. Another honorable mention, Bo Naylor for the Guardians was really struggled when they first plugged him into the lineup, really struggled, but then you start to see him getting his stride towards the end of the year. Looks like they have something as a young player, as a young catcher in Bo Naylor. So, and I'm a big fan of that lineup with Jose Ramirez, his brother, Josh Naylor, and then him. We could be on to something there. That's my catchers.
I like it. I like it. And like I said at the start of this cast, we're going to get better on a daily basis here. And part of that getting better is me cutting half my list. Not really, but instead of having 2 top 5s, I'm just going to have 1 top 5 because there's no reason for me to give y'all what's already out there. So for my top 5, we've got the unanimous Adley Rutschman. I think is just far and above from opportunities to switch hitting to be on the Baltimore Orioles, who were a 100-win team last year. He's got it all out in front of him, and I don't think anybody it sees him flopping. So second, Will Smith, the addition of Shohei Ohtani only provides him additional RBI opportunities as long as Shohei doesn't homer everybody in, and then it's up to Will to get on base first. Somebody that everybody but Arizona Diamondbacks is sleeping on is Gabriel Moreno. He will be their everyday guy. He will get as many at-bats as Will Smith. Maybe not Adley Rutschman, but definitely Will Smith and the other guys that we've talked about thus far. Keep an eye on him. The guy is not necessarily the power hitter, but again, considering everybody he has in front of him, because he'll hit out of the 6 hole or so, everybody he's got in front of him in that Arizona team, RBI central, and then just look for extra base hits. Unanimous 4 hole, Jonah Heim. Right? Again, switch hitter for Texas, arguably the most potent offense in the MLB. That's scary because guys like Josh Young and Tavares and things like that are only going to get better. And so it's going to be tough. It's going to be between them and the Dodgers for most runs in a game. For my number 5 hole, it's Yanier Diaz. I want to put him at 1 just because I'm a believer. But that dude hacks and swings a bat like it's his only job to do so. We'll get the catching business up to par eventually, but let him swing. Y'all know I like to keep a track outside of the top 10 just because we could technically call those sleepers. 10 in this instance is Wilson Contreras with the Cardinals. We're not going to really talk about him. Tyler Stevenson is my first one to keep an eye on with Cincinnati. Again, he had a young team last year. He had a down year without a doubt. I don't know what that's attributed to, but I'm just going to go ahead and say he was coaching more than he was playing and call it that. Elias Diaz with Colorado. Do not underestimate Colorado's park and where they play and the amount of power they have in that offense. If everybody's healthy, Nolan Jones, Chris Bryant, and then throw this guy in the mix, Elias Diaz, they've got 3 bombers on this squad. Lastly, Patrick Bailey with San Francisco. He is almost a spitting image of Yanir Diaz. Said, trade your home runs for doubles. And you got Patrick Bailey. I'll take extra base hits. I don't really care how they come about. For a flop this year, I got nobody. No catcher. I think catchers are only on the rise. There's no reason to flop anybody. We were actually talking about Sean Murphy and Travis d'Arnaud prior. Those guys are going to split load. You can't call that a flop, right? My gem for this season, and it's because he switched teams, and it's because he's never not going to have his bat or a bat in his hand in the lineup. Mitch Garver, Seattle Mariners, right? He will always be in that 4-hole. He might not catch every game. That's not important. We just want him to swing. And damn, does he do that well. So I'm really excited for Mitch Garver's upcoming season. And yeah, we got top 5, couple to track outside. Y'all can go ahead and rewind that. And then my gem for the season's Mitch Garver. And I would not be surprised if people are willing to pay for him. If y'all are doing
That was
salary
fucking
drafts out there.
poetic, bro.
That was fucking poetic,
Thank you, man.
bro.
I wrote it
No.
all down.
That was
And
crazy.
I practiced it in the mirror.
Can you send a
And,
Google Sheets to me?
Yeah.
Can we share a Google Doc?
Yeah,
We can.
Can we
Why
share a
not? Why
doc real
not?
quick?
Why
Also,
wouldn't we?
I have some breaking news to announce.
Let's go.
CJ Stroud won Rookie of the Year, and Will
Hey.
Anderson Jr. won Defensive Rookie of the Year.
That's
That's
fantastic.
crazy. Didn't D'Amico win Coach of the Year too?
He should.
I don't know if they announced that yet.
It might
But
be.
I
Is
just-
it all
I thought I
happening
saw it
tonight?
on Fox.
It's happening right now. My friend texted me. Miles
Dun-dun-dun,
Garrett
dun-dun-dun.
won Defensive Player of the Year.
Dude, I
Who?
saw that. Yeah.
Miles Garrett won Defensive Player of the Year. But yeah, CJ Stroud wins Rookie of the Year over Puka Nacua, which the way that the media was talking about Puka really scared me because he did break a lot of records.
Yep.
But
broke all the records.
huh?
I say he broke all the rookie records, did he not?
Yeah, all the receiving rookie records. So I was getting kind of nervous. But Will Anderson, Defensive Rookie of the Year, CJ Stroud, Rookie of the Year. What a draft class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Do we applaud Nick or D'Amico for that?
Nick. No, you gotta the signings and the GM. I mean, the signings and the draft picks are the GM. I mean,
Not 100% though.
So
you
it's
know?
like, does like a guy like Bill O'Brien, is he involved a
I
lot?
don't want to talk about him, dude. He's gonna make me mad.
But yeah,
Well, let's put it this way: D'Amico is not Bill O'Brien.
Yeah,
Put
exactly.
it that way.
Exactly.
if he is involved in a lot, keep him involved.
If I was Nick, I'd want to hear from D'Amico. Be like, hey, I'm thinking about drafting this guy.
Absolutely, no,
What do you think about coaching?
1,000%.
Yeah,
I
Nick
just-
would be like, "Go away, Bill. What the hell?"
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like Nick would be like, "Come here, D'Amico. Please share your wisdom."
I feel like Bill was a mouth breather.
I think especially if you're drafting a defensive player like Will Anderson, D'Amico Ryans for sure needs to.
Absolutely.
You're gonna want to listen to him from a linebacking standpoint.
Yeah.
I think maybe CJ Stroud was more a Nick pick than Will Anderson was, but I do think it was a collaborative effort. But I always credit. I don't think GMs get enough credit in this sport, honestly. So I always like
Rick Smith. Remember that guy?
I always like to give the GM credit because I feel like it goes unnoticed at times.
Dude,
But,
they get paid. Who cares about credit?
No, yeah. I mean, you could have. I guess you could think of it like that. Anybody have any comments on the latest MLB signings and contract extensions? At Jose Altuve extended by the Astros. Bobby Witt makes all the money in the world. Clayton Kershaw signs. Anybody got any initial comments? What do you guys think about the Altuve deal extending him? You think it's the right move?
Well,
yeah.
that's towards the. I mean, that completes his career, right?
Yep.
That's
I
it.
don't know. Some baseball players are immortal.
Yeah, but not at second base, and he's not. I mean, he's got a good bat.
How long is the contract?
Well, it's a 5-year extension.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah, so it's a 5-year extension. Yeah. That dude's gonna die in Astro.
Yeah.
I thought you said he was gonna die on the field.
I mean, we don't know.
Man, Altuve hit 311 average last year, which is the highest since 2018.
Yeah.
Obviously, he played in 90 games, but he hit 17 homers, 51 RBIs. Man, if he could stay healthy, like, dude, hitting hitting at 33 years old. I mean, he should really know his way around the plate.
And
So
another, I don't know if it's breaking news, but the arbitration with Dubon was settled, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, I
I
think
know
they paid
Vladdy
him or
got a
something like that.
record-breaking 20 million off
Yeah.
arbitration.
Yeah, Vladdy got the
That's
record.
that's something that I mean, it's just a random throw out. Like Dubon stepping in for Altuve last year, and it's like they didn't skip a beat.
Yep.
I mean, obviously you got more batting average. I mean, Altuve was at a 311, but it seemed like Dubon was putting the ball in the bat every single time he swung.
Dubon was clutch.
Dude, he's
was very
arguably
clutch.
one of my favorite Astros, along with Bregman.
Yeah.
Like last year, I loved watching Dubon play.
You're drafting Bregman this year again, aren't you?
I don't know, man. He's too expensive.
Yeah, he got too expensive. We'll see what's up.
But-
Can't wait for the third base segment.
Any ideas or any comments rather? Bobby Witt making all the money in the world, almost 9
Kershaw
million.
signed with who?
Dodgers.
Yeah.
Came back to the
I
Dodgers.
don't. Do y'all know the details of that deal?
When it broke, they didn't announce the details, but they just
Yeah.
said clearing physical. He will be returning to the Dodgers. There was a second where the Rangers were interested, which would have made a bullpen, or not a bullpen, a starting five heading into the playoffs with Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, and Clayton Kershaw. Boy, if that team was 6 years ago.
You want to talk about an invested team? The Rangers, dude. My goodness. It's like they throw money out every single. It's like the Dodgers almost. What was it? They a couple years ago they had they spent
broke
so
the
much
record.
money.
Yeah, the year and they ended up being terrible that year. But
yeah,
it
but
paid
then
off
they
a year later.
switched.
But it paid off the next year. I mean, because
Yeah.
the big signing was John Gray, Corey Seager.
And I hated every second of it.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, you should have been happy. They were terrible, but
No, whenever they they switched it around in the following years.
yeah, it's just something. It was the changing of the coach, man. Like
Something.
yeah, getting
Bochy.
Bruce Bochy, man, because we had the young. Actually, I don't want to say we. The Rangers had the young coach.
0.0% of the team.
Yeah, like they had the young McVay, like Sean McVay, the young good-looking coach, and nothing was getting done. Then you bring in the guy who's been there 1,000 times. That's 1,000 years old, and then you win a World Series. How about that?
Been here before.
Yeah, that's how it is.
No biggie.
Anybody have any closing statements? Anything they really have to get off their chest? Any hot takes? Any players you hate, Chandler?
There's plenty, but no, not today.
That's old
today.
Pablo,
we hit my flops, but no, I'm actually surprised by Bobby. I know the long-term deal kind of makes sense. The opt-out after is it year 7? Right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so he's got a 10-year deal, year 7 or 11-year deal. You can opt out after 7, 8, 9, and 10, which I think is super interesting. So they've at least got him locked down for 7. Outside of money, I don't know. I suppose the Kansas City Royals have a pretty rich history of winning. It was not too long ago that they got their chip, but I feel like that should have been a guy that tested the free agent market, since he can play shortstop and third, and then he is who he is.
The thing about the Royals is, can they get pitching? Right?
Yeah. Are they going to waste his career like the Angels wasted Mike Trout's? Is what we're about to find out.
I get Cole Reagan's really showed some stuff last year. Is that going to be consistent? Is that going to be consistent? Other than that,
Brady.
I mean, and
Brady Singer.
He has flashes, man.
Let me tell you something. Chandler was a used car salesman with Brady Singer to me. Like, he was just like, dude, let me tell you, man, it's rough, right? Dude's had like an 8 ERA.
Yeah, he's bad right now.
Listen to me, dude.
And he did.
It's a long season.
Yeah.
It's a long season.
Yeah.
No, that's what, honestly, if I could give credit, Colby picked up these players that were hot garbage. And then they get on Colby's team. all Cy Young candidates. Like,
Yeah.
would you have Ashcraft? You couldn't beg someone to sign Ashcraft.
Dude,
Kobe gets him, and
I
all of a
drafted
sudden,
Ashcraft.
he's young Jacob DeGrom. And
Yeah,
I'm
he was
like,
in the ones
what?
for a little bit with his ERA.
Yeah.
He
I'm
was
like,
pitching
yeah.
really
yo,
well.
I got in the group chat and I said, can people really just look at Colby's signings before and after he signed them?
Yeah.
It's like he gave them all steroids or something. He put something in their ear.
The queso effect.
Like,
Mhm.
oh my God, they were the
Was
craziest
still
players.
the first loser that year, so it didn't pan out.
Hey, look, you got some money, right?
Aye.
You were in the yeah, it was y'all two, right?
Yeah. You're the last
That's
loser, technically.
Oh,
I
no.
was the first loser. I lost in the first round.
If you ain't
but-
first, you're last.
Yeah, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, if no one has anything else, we
I
can
got
go ahead
something.
and what you got? We
Oh,
got.
send it.
Oh, here we go.
I want that hat.
Oof. Your
Dude,
local lids.
That
Yeah,
hat.
you go to
that-
your local lids.
Plug.
It's
That-
not
that's a
hard
dope
to
hat.
find. You get it, so it's a flat bill hat, but they steam it at the shop. It's $5 extra. They steam it and they bend it, so you don't have to do it yourself. And because I mean, who
Cool.
wears a flat bill hat straight? What are we, dirt bike racers? But you if you bend it, you know, it's pretty swaggy. So
Pretty swaggy.
yeah, so Montreal Expos, local lids, plug it. If no one has anything near and dear to their heart, we can go ahead and close this out.
Yeah, I think that's a wrap.
It's been
Yeah.
it was a great episode. We had some compelling conversation. This was episode 2 of the Wide 80 podcast. We'll catch you next week.
See ya.
Signing off.
Go!